Hi everyone, it's laVashik here, the team lead of CropFactor and the sole developer behind the code of PCapture. Today we have a special devlog where we're going to take a peek under the hood and talk about the core of the mod, the camera code. Development is full swing and you will have a lot more news about PCapture soon. In the meantime, let's dive into the code. It's been almost 2 years since the last part of PC Legacy was released, but we will tell you more about all the change some other time. During this time, the mod's code has undergone tremendous changes and has been completely rewritten from scratch. Let's go to VS Code and take a look at the project. What was once a maze of functions and global variables has now become a sleek, modular structure. The main model is ASQRA, the core of the camera mechanics, a kind of facade that provides a basic API for interacting with other models. The camera's functionality has been split into two distinct classes, capture mode and placement mode. I actively use the strategy pattern, which simplifies the code and enhances efficiency by eliminating constant checks for the active mode. Both these classes implicitly implement the ASQRA mode interface, which must have a weak reference to the camera object, to the list of captured objects, an instance of validator class, an availability flag, and the necessary methods. Yes, I know that most of you might not be familiar with VScripts, so this might seem a bit confusing. So let's not focus too much on this, let's move on to placement mode. The most interesting part here is the placement thing handler class, which, thanks to asynchrony, allowed us to optimize script performance by up to 130%. Wow! And this is not the limit. I'm still working to optimize it even more. But I won't go too deep into the internals of the placement thinker handler. It's quite complex and easy to get lost in. Oh, what is it? You may also have noticed interesting folders like events and plugins. They play an insanely important role in the mod, but more on that in future devlogs. But how did I manage to transform the code like that? Credit goes to the PCapture library. At some point I realized that a huge part of the code responsible for working with objects, animations, events and other useful stuff could be useful to other developers as well. This is how PCapture appeared, a powerful tool that allows you to write more readable and concise code, implement complex mechanics and achieve high performance in VScripts. I have to give myself credit for implementing a powerful tracing system called Trace Plus, which allowed me to completely replace the NV laser workaround. This library is open source and now I'm actively writing the latest global update to version 3.0. You can find a link to it in the description. If you've written any VScript code, I highly recommend that you familiarize yourself with it. You know, I have an idea. Let's go back in time for a second and look at the PC Legacy code to compare it to the current code. Oh shit, what is it? I can't even remember how this used to work. No classes, pure functional code, hard coding. What the fuck? Let this remain a closed chapter in PCapture history. Finally, let's see how it all looks in the game itself. Thanks to my higher level of knowledge, all PCapture logic works freely on any map. Let's choose any. We activate the script and... ta-da! Don't pay attention to the view model, as we still have to implement the logic for interacting with the view model from the code. Someone may notice that the visual style of the placement looks like in the old PC Legacy. There is chromatic aberration. In short, the camera code is now omnidirectional. Details that require additional actions, such as chromatic aberration, are moved to plugins, which I will not talk about today. And yes, the camera code works without problems in multiplayer, even in the Portal 2 multiplayer mod. Of course, if 42 players simultaneously turn on placement mode, your computer will most likely explode.
Oh my PC.
Well, but if you don't have friends to play Project Capture with, then you can give the camera to your faithful cube companion, so that he can also capture other cubes and place them. Just make sure he doesn't capture you. Wait! Fuck. This concludes the brief tour of PCapture code. I hope you found it interesting. Stay tuned and join our Discord server. The new details about the project will be revealed soon. Subscribe to channel, leave comments, and see you soon!